Good afternoon, everyone. This is a bit impromptu, isn't it? Breaking news before the first day of the season. Eddie Howe has signed a new long-term deal at Newcastle United. He had 2 years left on his deal. When he signed post-takeover, he signed an initial 2.5-year deal. Dan Ashworth and the members of the board have saw fit, and rightly so, to tie down the long-term future of one of the brightest young English managers in the game. I'm here alongside Harry. Harry, I'll get your thoughts in a moment, but whilst everyone is here, please don't forget to hit that like button on the video. And as always, our channel memberships, where you get exclusive videos only and channel news and everything like that, starts at just 99p. Hit the join button for more info. But Harry, Eddie Howe, new deal. Initial thoughts?
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. I think there was news breaking towards the end of last season that they were in talks to sign a new deal with him because obviously, as he said, he only had 2 years left. I think it is brilliant news after that magnificent turnaround last season. Everyone was thinking, right, Eddie Howe is here to stay. He's not just a stopgap. He deserves at least a very good chance at helping us progress into Europe. I suppose that's a bit far-fetched, but from just signing a new deal. But it is just excellent news. Overjoyed on the eve of our first game of the season. It's just fantastic news. Brilliant news.
It absolutely is. It really is. Please get your comments in, and we'll get some quotes from the men that matter as well, Eddie Howe and Dan Ashworth as well, who's obviously, along with Darren Eales, in charge of day-to-day footballing operations now at Newcastle United. It's amazing, isn't it, Harry? We're being run like a football club.
Run properly the way it should be done after all those years of torment. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We've got sporting directors, chief executives. We know who's doing everything instead of just bloody Charnley speaking once a year. It's brilliant. And we're getting regular updates as well, and I'm sure there'll be more to come soon as well. It's fantastic to see.
It absolutely is. Graham Morton, as he rightly says, long-term intent, security, brilliant news for the club and the city. It is. There's been a fantastic buzz around the place, even in pre-season, over 40,000 at both pre-season fixtures last weekend, and obviously there's a sign of optimism and excitement for a new season for the first time in years and years and years. But keep your comments coming in. Let's get some quotes as well. A guest might be joining us very, very shortly. But let's hear from the man himself, Eddie Howe. Harry, I'll let you I'll let you read through these lovely quotes.
Okay, then. It's a great feeling to commit my future to this incredible club. I'm extremely proud to be the head coach of Newcastle United, and I've enjoyed every moment here. Brilliant thing to say. I'd like to take the opportunity to acknowledge my coaching team, the players, staff and supporters. They make it a very special place to be every day. I'd also like to extend my gratitude to our owners and to Dan Ashworth. We are still at the start of our journey, but this is an exciting time to be a part of Newcastle United, and I am very excited about the future together.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a huge positive step. This news. It's out of the blue. Let's not. I don't know whether the journos at his pre-match presser this morning had any hint of what was going on. That would be interested to know. The actual specifics of the deal is unclear at the moment, isn't it, Harry? But long term would suggest what, 4, 5, maybe not so far as 8.
I think we all know what we're talking about there when we're talking about the 8-year deal. But yeah, I think it'd probably be a 6-year deal. Long term, obviously, as you said, leaves it a bit unclear, but we all know it's going to be at least above 3 years. So it'll be minimum 4, 5 years. Yeah, I'm very happy for him, very happy for the club. I think he's very well deserved. Very, very well deserved.
I think that's an interesting point in the comments there. Eddie Howe, I mean, who knows what's going to happen this season, but obviously it's a World Cup coming up in a few months' time. If England don't have a good tournament, then there's always going to be speculation around the England manager's job, in which Eddie Howe's played himself into again. So I suppose, Harry, this really kind of puts pay to any sort of speculation before it has a chance to happen.
Yeah, it definitely puts that to bed. Definitely. I think obviously that could happen down the line if and when Howe leaves, but it definitely puts the speculation of him leaving us in the near future to go for England. And fair play to him. He's committed himself. It's what we all want to see, what we all want to hear. And who knows, Southgate might stay on as England manager. England might have a really successful tournament, and it might be Southgate in again, for all we know. So yeah, but it ends that speculation absolutely.
Could be Serena Wiegman in at this rate. She's been absolutely superb. But that's for another day, the England manager's job. It's very much about the Newcastle manager's job today. Dan Ashworth, as I said earlier, who's really taking charge now of the day-to-day operations of Newcastle United, has had this to say. I'm delighted Eddie has committed his long-term future to Newcastle United. He's an incredibly talented leader and has had a huge impact since being appointed in November. In the short period of time I've worked with him, I've seen how much of a diligent, detailed, hardworking coach and leader he is. This is great news for the club, and I'm looking forward to working with Eddie and our colleagues on our exciting journey ahead. Now, that to me says they know what they've got. They're not panicking about transfers and this, that, and the other. They're working well as a cohesive unit, and they want that relationship to continue.
Yeah, I think ever since Eddie Howe came in, the owners have been really, really impressed with him, because obviously they had a lengthy interview process. He said he came out with a plan. This initially, anyway, these were the reports. He came out with a plan. He knew what he was doing. He was very detailed in his structure and what he wanted to do with the players. So I think it was kind of always likely and hoped, if results turned out the right way, he would stay for the long term. And obviously him and Dan Ashworth are in line with each other from those comments. We're seeing that they've got a successful relationship together, despite being only together about a month, maybe just over. So I think, yeah, that obviously at the moment everything is rosy, all is well within the boardroom, right down to the management. And it's, yeah, as we said earlier, great to see Newcastle being run properly.
I remember as well, I think it was around January time, that Amanda Staveley was doing an interview, and she was saying that she wants Eddie Howe to be Newcastle Sir Alex Ferguson, which at the time was an incredible show of support. But Eddie Howe seems to have more than repaid her with that in the short term for the turnaround last season, which wasn't instant. I wouldn't have said we had that new manager bounce, but it was a long-term plan, and you could see that Howe's work ethic and what he's trying to build at Newcastle, especially when, like, the players see him arrive at 6 a.m. and he's the first one there and the last one out, basically, and the players seem to have bought into that, don't they?
Yeah, yeah. He shows such dedication coming in every morning. 6 a.m. And yeah, the players obviously have bought into that. Everything around the club is positive. All the player interviews are praising the manager, whether that's a dig at the last one or just such an uplift at the current one. It is great to see, and it is paying dividends on the pitch, as we saw. Not, as we said, not initially, but even Sir Alex Ferguson, as you said before, he didn't have a fantastic beginning to his career at
No, he was
Man
close to
United, did
being
he?
sacked.
Yeah. So just goes to show that it just goes to show that not everything is immediate, but after time, everything develops, and hopefully we see more and more improvement in the coming season on season, with Eddie Howe at the helm.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the good things about how we're going about our business and everything else. It seems to have this slow, obviously, in a couple of months' time, we could all look very, very silly, but at the moment, it seems like it's a slow build, it's progression year on year, and we can't go mad instantly, but we're seeing things develop like we've seen with Ashworth and Eales come in. We've seen trickles of real world-class players coming in, Trippier, Bruno, Botman. Incredible. And whilst there hasn't been a sort of statement marquee attacking signing yet, I think this just goes some way to say, well, there's no panic yet. This is a slow, long-term thing.
Yeah, I suppose and it definitely does kind of put to bed any worries about Eddie Howe being discontent possibly with the board or anything like that. They obviously are all together. There's no worries from him about transfers. He knows that he's going to get the players that he wants, or he will eventually, but they've got to comply with FFP. They've got to do everything correctly. They don't want to overpay, etc. So it just shows that they are being level-headed. Whether people on Twitter think, oh, we should sign this player, we should sign that, just pay. No, they know what they're doing. Why did they? Obviously, they have given Eddie Howe a contract. Then they're not going to just make rash decisions because they think, oh, the fans want this or the fans want that. Or they're not going to panic. They're showing that they're being level-headed, and it's really, really kind of satisfying to see, and that they're not going to panic despite being kind of new to the job. And Ashworth and Eales are obviously going to bring experience and help the owners, Murdad and Amanda, with that.
Yeah, know-how, experience. This is all like things that we're not normally used to having. And a point in the comments there as well, Eddie Howe, like they were in the process of moving up to the northeast and bringing his family up from the south coast. And the previous couple of managers haven't done that. They were commuting from the northwest, weren't they? So it's for him, I suppose. Now it's confirmation that they can from a family aspect come up and settle in the area and look for schools and look for houses, and that would make him feel a hell of a lot more comfortable in the area, knowing that it's now your home, not just a place of work.
Yeah, absolutely. If develop a family life and start going out and enjoying the city and the atmosphere and the environment, and feel like he's from there. Get used to being up here, because obviously now he's going to be here for some time if all goes well. And yeah, it'd be more comfortable for everyone. It'll help. Hopefully, even that will improve results on the pitch. He'll have less to worry about in terms of his family life and in terms of not seeing his kids.
It is our esteemed co-host, Mr. Greenwood's in the comments. How far can Eddie take us this year, Harry? Where do you think his sort of, with Howe at the helm, where do you think his ceiling is? Where are his real aspirations, and where do you think he can take us now he's got long-term security?
So this year, in terms of this season, I don't think the deal changes massive amounts. Obviously, it's the same manager. He's got more security, maybe bit more confidence, but I still think we'd be looking at top 7 as a maximum, unless we get, say, a monster signing like a Maddison, or I don't know, a top class striker in, which seems more and more unlikely as the window develops. But unless we get a club record signing, I don't see us breaking that top 6. In terms of how far he can take us, I think 7th is a maximum. Yeah.
For this season.
Yes, sorry, yeah, for this season.
Okay, so yeah, I can't see Maddison happening. I've got to be honest. I'm not. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. If we get him, fine. If we don't, I'm more than content with that. I think winger and a striker is obviously where we need to focus our attention. But get your thoughts in the comments. Where can we finish this season? Is it top 8, top 7? I'd be happy with top 10. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I know we weren't even that far off a top 10 finish last season, but as long as it's progression, I don't really see the harm in it. But I can't wait to see a full proper team, competitive atmosphere, competitive game tomorrow. I can't wait to come up for tomorrow's game.
After a full Howe pre-season with more play style developed, Sven Botman in the door, possibility of Nick Pope playing at. Yeah.
I can't wait to see Sven Botman play in the Premier League week in, week out. I think he's going to be elite, proper elite. I really do, and those are the kind of signings. All right, it's not in the. He's such a he's such a dafty. Johnny has my ticket for tomorrow, but so he's trying to be funny. Bless him. Yeah, top half for Graham as long as it's progressive. Oh, Soccer Steve's in the comments, man. Even more great news to kickstart the season. New owners have done an absolutely exceptional job so far. He's got us finishing 7th, but he'll be happy with the top 10 and some lovely football. Were you at the Bilbao game on Saturday, Harry?
I was not. No, I was. I
So
missed both friendlies, unfortunately.
that's okay because you can listen. Did you watch the stream?
I did not. So feel free to
Okay. That's
enlighten
fine.
me.
That's fine. I won't berate you. But what I will say is the football we played in the first half is like whetting the appetite big time. In the
Yeah.
first half against Bilbao, there was
Sorry,
some.
I did watch the highlights, and we did look exceptional. So obviously it's highlights, so it's meant to do that. But I was really impressed with the way we played.
Yeah, some of the football was some of the best football I've seen us play. So my broader point coming onto that was that Eddie Howe's obviously got an identity to this team. You can quite clearly see there's a plan, a structure, a plan B. There's everything that we were lacking over the past couple of years, and we've got that in abundance now, and it's rubbing off. If fans can see that in the stands, and it's the right brand of football, which it has been, then I mean, surely the atmosphere at St James's can it even get any better? But it's going to be. Let's face it.
Yeah, it was definitely hard to top towards the end of last season. That Arsenal game, incredible
Mm.
atmosphere. But if we can get better than that, God help us. Like that would be incredible. I, I, the atmosphere has always been our strength, and if it continues to grow and grow and grow, yeah, it'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, we just like don't want Callum Wilson to get injured tomorrow or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I have to put on record, I absolutely hate playing newly promoted teams at the start of the season. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. So whatever happens tomorrow, it's still good news and we're still on the right track. Whatever happens
Mhm.
tomorrow. But I can't wait for the season to start now. And the fact that this news has come out, hopefully now we can build again and we can fill the gaps that we need. So I'm checking my phone because I'm trying to get friend of the show, friend of the channel, and stand-up comedian Anth Young on the show,
Oh
who
yes.
famously said on the Greenwood Mulliner Show, before he was hired, I must stress, that he didn't rate Eddie Howe. So I'm trying to coerce him into coming onto the show to eat his words because he's already sent me a message of him being absolutely ripped in one of his WhatsApp group chats. Bless him. So he's a good dude, but I hope he doesn't bottle it. But
That'd be brilliant.
it really would. But yeah, what can we expect tomorrow? Do you think, Harry?
I think I'll leave the prediction for a bit later if you want, but I think just attacking football. I think it's today in his press conference. It sounded as though Sven Botman's probably going to start, or he's ready to start. Whether he does or doesn't is a different issue, I suppose. But I think Botman starts, and yeah, some good attacking football. Really, I'd love to see that aggressive pressing, high press. It's just same as the last season, really, but just better, just better.
Yeah, a full season with Bruno
Yeah.
and Botman and fingers crossed a fully fit Callum Wilson, please.
Mm,
And on the face of it as well. In addition to that, there's a few players that sort of don't need big seasons, but they've still got something to prove, something to spur them on. The likes of your Almirons, your Sean Longstaffs, even your ASMs. He needs a big season, doesn't he?
yeah, yeah. No, we were discussing last night in the show how this is a make or break season for both Miggy and ASM, in my opinion. I think ASM's, despite providing more than Miggy and more than most players, his numbers are still flatter to deceive. So I love him. We all love him, I'm sure, but he needs to produce more. And as for Miggy, he's had a cracking pre-season, so it has to be the time for Miggy. It has to be the time. If not, he's out the door soon enough, because it has to be the time. And I do believe him. I think he will start tomorrow, and I think he will have a good start to the season. But it has to be the time.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he'll start tomorrow, because you have to sort of acknowledge that whilst it's only pre-season, but you still have to acknowledge that pre-season form, don't you? So
Hmm.
there's that dilemma. I'm a big Ryan Fraser fan as well, so let's not forget he
Yeah.
was in good form before he got injured, and which kind of let Miggy in the door, didn't it? The other selection dilemma, as well as Burn or Botman, I suppose, is who gets the nod in midfield with Shelvey's absence. Will it be Willock? Will it be Sean Longstaff? Who do you
For
think?
me, I think, and you'll agree with me, I think it's Sean Longstaff. I think he's more, I don't know, more balanced than Willock. Willock's more of a arrive in the box late goal scorer, whereas Sean, I think he's better on the ball. I think he's more of a box to box, and I just like his calmness and his work ethic, his commitment. He's committed to the cause. He's a Geordie. He knows what it's all about. So for me, I'd like to see Sean start, and again, I think he probably will.
And of course, the other dilemma here, which has sparked debate in the comments, is in goal. Who starts between the six? And of course, Liam corrects me, as well as Elliot Anderson's in the mix for midfield as well. But I can't see it, even though Howe's reiterated today he will be staying in and around the first team. But the goalkeepers, Dubravka put in a stark reminder for all to see last Saturday, especially in the second half against Bilbao, that he's still here and shouldn't be forgotten by any means.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't see it for Dubravka. I think I just see Pope starting. He's Howe's man. He's come in. He wants that World Cup spot. I don't see him making the move if he wasn't guaranteed some kind of first team football or a very good chance of being that starting number one. Personally, I think it's Pope, probably going to be Pope's to lose, but which is unfortunate for Dubravka, because I really liked him as a keeper, still do. So I think it's a shame, but that's just the way I think it's going to pan out, unfortunately. And then if we can recruit some funds for Dubravka, it'd be, if we were to sell him, of course.
I don't think there's much between the two of them, to be honest. But like you say,
Yeah.
there, Nick Pope is Eddie Howe's man. Do you think James Maddison is Eddie Howe's man, or do you think that's a Dan Ashworth endeavour? Because there's quotes come out this afternoon. Brendan Rodgers has said James Maddison's not for sale.
Mhm.
Like, for me, again, I'm not really fussed. But do you think that's an Eddie Howe signing if it pulls off?
I think that's probably a Dan Ashworth. I was listening to Craig Hope on BBC Radio Newcastle the other day, and he was saying that Southgate and Howe are pretty similar in terms of their characters, who they want in the dressing room. And Southgate doesn't go anywhere near James Maddison. So, and obviously Eddie Howe has created such a brilliant atmosphere. I don't think he'd really want to push for Maddison if he was going to disrupt that. So I think it probably is more of an Ashworth thing, but at the same time, who knows? But I personally, I think it's more of an Ashworth thing, just off those kind of comments I've heard.
Yeah, possibly, but it's almost like a better from the Dele Alli situation in January. I think bullet dodged there big time.
Yeah, yeah,
Madison's
absolutely.
obviously got a lot more quality to his game at the moment than Dele Alli, but in terms of character wise, that was what puts me off as well, because you have to buy into this philosophy and the group, the content the club were putting out over pre-season. It just seemed like such a happy camp. So that's another thing where you got to credit Eddie Howe and what he's built, and Jason Tyndall and the rest of the coaching team.
Yeah, absolutely. The team photos after the matches as well. They have everyone just laughing and smiling. They're brilliant. And yeah, as you say, a happy camp throughout pre-season. The go-karting, they're all having fun in that. That was brilliant. And yeah, just everyone's happy, and it's great to see they've brewed such a positive atmosphere there.
They really have. They really have, and it is great to see. You didn't see that kind of. I suppose you didn't see that kind of atmosphere even under Rafa, because with Rafa, you know what you get. It's very much
Yeah.
business-like and straight down the line, and you don't really get. It's just uber professional, isn't it? With Rafa, you don't see that kind of not so much togetherness, but the kind of banter flying around like you did. Like you did now, away from the pitch. But look, it's exciting. We face a little-known Jesse Lingard tomorrow, which could be interesting, which again was another one. Do you really want a character in and around that squad that's demanding £150,000, £200,000 a week? Again, I think it's better. And you're only signing a 1-year deal at Forest as well. That tells you all you need to know about where he thinks Forest will be come the end of the season as well. So would you have liked him though, Harry? Do you think he would have given us a bit of an extra dimension, or again, do you think it's another bullet dodged?
I think in January we were all kind of craving for, well, maybe not craving, but a lot of people were keen in January because of the desperation of our kind of situation, and Man United were ridiculous in those negotiations. This summer, I mean, I thought Lingard had kind of turned the page in terms of his attitude when he went to West Ham, and obviously he wanted that final crack at Man United. He seemed to become more of a player, and then Man United seemingly ruined him again last season. They've just completely turned him over, gave him no football. And so he's gone to Forest. I was very surprised because it seems likely that they've offered more than West Ham. But as I say, yeah, because it seems a money thing, and if so, yeah, bullet dodge. He is a talented player, but if he'd rather go to Forest and West Ham, then I think that says all you need to know.
Speaking of, I mean, it's probably a bit harsh saying bullet dodged, but Dean Henderson was another one who we'd be facing tomorrow that could have turned up at Newcastle United, because that was the big goalkeeper link before Nick Pope was even spoken about, wasn't it? He's been quite outspoken this week, hasn't he, about being trapped at Man United, which Lingard would have known all about. Do you think we've got the better deal? Do you think we've got the better keeper in Nick Pope?
To be fair, I'm not too sure. Pope has obviously got experience on his side, which plays into our hands for the short term. Henderson is younger, arguably better with his feet, better distribution. I think Pope's absolutely a better shot stopper. Absolutely, no doubt about that. But Henderson being younger and plays out from the back with his feet would have been pricier. So for the short term, Pope absolutely. But Henderson also, you've got to question his attitude with the comments he's making. It's as you say, very outspoken. Because they said he's number one, that means he's given a God-given right to be number one. No, you got to earn it back. Even if you just taken out the team, you see competition for places, especially at a club like Manchester United. It shouldn't be a walk in the park to get back in that team. So I think he's being a little bit unfair on them, maybe a bit harsh. But I suppose you would be frustrated. But who's got the better deal ultimately? I think I'd rather have Pope. I think I would.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, all right, De Gea is a good keeper, but I think he's a bit on the overrated side. He has got errors in him, and look, it's probably the worst Man United team you've ever seen. So, Geordie Toon for life, Leon on TV tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how Paqueta plays. Could we go back in for him now that Maddison's all but dead? That's just my opinion, that it's all but dead, but I just can't see it happening now. Magpie Crypto was saying earlier that we need a Tino and a Nobby. Maybe a few more goals than what Tino got, but how much would Nobby Solano be worth in this market nowadays, Harry? Jeez.
Ridiculous.
If Maddison's worth 50 million, prime Solano?
Prime he's a bit too early for me, but Prime Solano, what?
A prime Solano, I think, is better than current
How
Maddison.
much did we get? Was it 2.5 million or something like that back in the day? Steal.
Yeah. Then we sent him, then Graham Souness sent him on loan to Aston. No, it wasn't on loan, it was a permanent, then we bought him back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dear me. Love Nobby, though. Love Nobby. But yeah, Paqueta is an interesting one, isn't it? Do we go back in?
I
For
think that's just all smoke and mirrors. I don't think there's anything going on with Paqueta. I have to be honest. I think it's all
Well,
just
I
Bruno's
was
mate.
sat in Ollie Bernard's pub not 2 months ago. No, it was more than that. Or was it? I can't remember. Johnny, if you're still in the comments, please remind me. I've got a memory like a sieve. And Ollie Bernard told us that they are talking. So, or they were talking. So, whether or not anything's come of that, who knows?
What
But
talking at the time, or
apparently so.
okay. Well, I don't know. I just I don't know. I think people like to say, oh, we want Paqueta. Paqueta's Bruno's friend, so let's get him. Let's, and then people start talking, and next thing you know, everyone thinks Paqueta's going to sign. If Ollie Bernard told you that, then fair play. And I know we were interested in January, but the price was too high or wasn't a priority. So
I think
I
they
guess
were
we'll
never
see.
going to sell both Bruno and Paqueta in 1 month, were
Yeah.
they? That would be crazy. Paul is in the comments who starts at centre back. This is probably the last of the dilemmas, isn't it? Burn and Botman, 2 left footers. Is that a big deal, the left foot, right foot combination, or are people reading too much into that? What do you think Howe's mindset will be when it comes to picking the centre half pairing?
So yeah, the left-footed thing is obviously interesting because left and right, you obviously get more balance with that. But read the Athletic, and they always like to say that Howe doesn't mind playing the idea with 2 left footers. For me, the main issue with the Burn and Botman partnership is that they seem very similar. They're both very tall, not necessarily the most agile centre backs.
Nothing wrong with being tall and unagile.
No, no, absolutely not. But I suppose you want a bit more variety in that centre of defence. I think Fabian Schär and Sven Botman, for me, is the centre half pairing, which is harsh on Dan Burn, but it's difficult when you got the 3 centre backs all competing for 2 spaces.
It's very harsh on Dan Burn, very harsh. And look, I mean, if you have a back two, then it's not guaranteed that they're going to be your back two for the whole of the season. Let's not forget the club captain in that as well. All 4 centre backs had very good games last weekend, so it's a big decision for Eddie Howe to make. So we can't say we've not got strength in depth there anymore, because even with an injury or two, we still look okay. There's guys still there, such as Federico Fernandez. Will he go before the end of the month? I would let him go personally, but who knows? Then you've also got Paul Dummett that can play centre back there as well. But I mean, Kel Watts. I mean, look,
probably heading out on loan, is he?
Who knows? Because he's probably a bit too old. I mean, not old because he's still young, but a bit too old for like sending out on loan for the season, because now's a time where you either need to break through or you need to be sold. So would another loan deal really be beneficial for someone like a Kel Watt? I don't know, but he could well end up. We could even have a strong defence for the League Cup second round at frickin' Mansfield or wherever we end up.
Yeah, imagine that you're hypothetically you're resting your 2 main centre backs and you still got, say, Burn and Lascelles or Botman and Lascelles or something like that. It's not too shabby that, when Lascelles was probably one of our first choice centre halves at the start of last season. So yeah, I think Kel Watts is 22, so realistically, it is that kind of time where you possibly sell him, or it's his make or break season. But we kind of only want to be going into the season with 4 centre halves, would you say? So
yeah,
So there's plenty of scope for departures here with Watts and Fernandez. It looks like Lascelles is staying put, doesn't it? So
Yeah,
so yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But well, look, as we start to wrap up, because it looks like Ant Young has bottled it. I'm sure he'll get his chance to say how wrong he was about Eddie Howe when he came on with us last year. I suppose that's why he's a comedian. He's got that very wrong. But look, how important is it that we get off to a good start tomorrow? And please, in the comments, get your score predictions in as we come to wrap up this afternoon's impromptu show. It's been years since we've got off to a genuinely good start now, hasn't it?
Yes, yeah, absolutely, and it is vital, as you said. It is very important. Just to answer your question there, that we get off to a good start. Losing to a newly promoted side is not the end of the world to start. And not that we want to, of course, but it's not the end of the world. And Sam fears playing them. But yes, we do need to get off to a good start. It wouldn't be the end of the world if we didn't. But I think it is very important, especially with facing Liverpool and Man City in the next. I think it's the first 5 games we face them both. So we need to make the most of the other 3 fixtures. I think it's West Ham and Wolves in there as well. So we do need to get off to a good start, continue that momentum from last season, hopefully get plenty of goals in, and yeah, hopefully get 3 points on the board.
I hope so. I remember. Hang on, when they first. Oh, at home. Oh, Johnny, you were so close to getting battered there, but of course West Ham was away, wasn't it, when we won first evening of the season a while ago? But yeah, I remember that game, that 2-1 against Spurs, bar and a Ben Arthur penalty, wasn't it? But a lot of positive predictions. I do think it will be a tough game. As I said before, I don't like playing newly promoted teams earlier on in the season, but we'll see. We'll see. How long ago since we had such a good centre back as Botman? I think he's Florian Lejeune times 10 and like minus 10 years. He's just brilliant. And I loved Florian Lejeune. But the calmness, the coolness, just a laid back big Dutch guy. He's just, I mean, he could have an absolute mare tomorrow, and I'd still think he was great. So yeah, it's vital we get off to that good start. A trip to Brighton as well for Mr. Lawler to enjoy.
Of course, Brighton.
Next weekend, that is, isn't it? So there's it's going to be a long season, an exciting season. And Eddie Howe is going to be in charge of Newcastle United for many years to come. Please smash the like on this video. Don't forget to check out our membership program. Also, as well, we have the Greenwood and Mulliner Show, which is available on all podcast outlets. So this week's published pod was Steve Stone, and then we've got Derek Wright to come with that 38-year service. And he's just retired. That's going to be a bit odd as well, Harry, not seeing Derek Wright on the bench for a league game for the first time in 38 years.
Very strange, very strange. That's some service, that. All props to him, and definitely you guys check out the interview.
Yes, it's 3 of the 4 parts are available on YouTube now. So yeah, I was waiting for this as well just before we wrap up. Another laid-back, tall Dutch guy. There he is, our very own Brandon, who I think is trying to scheme his way to Brighton next weekend. But Harry, I shall see you tomorrow, won't I? We're going to be doing all our usual match day coverage, and we'll be popping to the studio as well. Are you popping to the studio afterwards, Harry?
I will be, absolutely, yes.
Lovely stuff. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow for the season opener. The season starts now. See you tomorrow.